So Israel is escalating in Lebanon. But what is Iran up to? They're putting up a show of defiance. Iran's supreme leader made a rare move today. That's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. He gave a public sermon during the Friday prayers. Now, as you know, the Friday prayer is sacred for Muslims, but Khamenei rarely leads it. In fact, the last such instance was nearly 5 years ago. Considering the circumstances, he did it again today. Tens of thousands of people gathered outside the mosque to hear him speak. And what did he say? He said that Tuesday's attack was minimum punishment for Israel and that Iran and its allies would not back down.
The operation that our armed forces did was the minimum punishment against the astonishing crimes of that regime. Israel is malignant, rootless, fake, and unstable entity, has kept itself standing with difficulty through America's support, and it will not survive, God willing. The resistance in the region will not back down with these martyrdoms and will win.
Did you see the gun beside Khamenei? That was part of the message. In Iran, the supreme leader is a religious and a political figure. Today, Khamenei donned both hats. He said Iran would neither delay nor rush to attack Israel. That was the policy bit. After that, he called for Islamic unity. He said Muslims from Afghanistan to Gaza to Lebanon must all strap their belt of resistance. Sounds strange, I know. Maybe it sounds better in Farsi. Either way, Khamenei's sermon had two objectives. One, to reassure the Iranian people. There's a lot of confusion around what will happen next, around how Israel will escalate, which is why Khamenei had to speak out. He had to be seen and heard. That was the first objective. Number two, it was a message to Israel. Khamenei called this week's attack minimum punishment. He's basically trying to say that there is more in store, so don't think about escalating. That's what he's telling the Iranians. But let's face it, the Israelis in fact, but let's face it, even Iran knows that an attack is coming. It's only a question of when and where. So how is the country preparing for it? We are seeing a three-part mission. The first is diplomatic. Iran's president visited Qatar this week. He also met Saudi Arabia's foreign minister there. Reports say the Gulf states have promised neutrality. They will not side with either Israel or Iran. Today, Iran's foreign minister traveled to Beirut. He landed amid Israeli airstrikes on the city, which is quite a risky trip to make. And what's on the agenda? He's already met Lebanon's caretaker prime minister. Chances are talks focused on the war. You see, Lebanon effectively has two power centers. One is the civilian government, the other is the Hezbollah. On Monday, the Prime Minister made an interesting statement. He said that he is willing to end Hezbollah's armed presence in southern Lebanon. Not for free, of course, in exchange for a ceasefire. Now, this may not work well for Iran. They would like Hezbollah and the government to be on the same page. So that's the diplomatic campaign. Part two is the military preparation. Frankly, there isn't much that Iran can do at this point. They do not have sophisticated air defense systems, not like Israel or the West. What they have is the S-300 missiles. These are Russian air defense systems. Iran bought them in 2007 for $800 million. They've been asking for the latest version, for the latest S-400 missiles as well, but Russia has been reluctant. Plus, Iran has some homegrown defenses, like the Arman anti-ballistic missile system and Azaraksh air defense system. These were unveiled in February this year. But in April, Israel managed to punch through them. In fact, part of an S-300 system was destroyed, which brings us to the third part of their campaign, bracing for impact. Let me show you two sets of satellite pictures. Both show Iran's Kharg Island oil terminal. Around 90% of their oil exports pass through here. In September, you can see tankers surrounding the terminal. But now, all of them are gone. Chances are Iran moved these tankers away, possibly to protect them from an Israeli strike. So Iran is preparing both politically and militarily, but their biggest challenge is not the looming Israeli attack. It's the question of what they will do afterwards.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election. Explains how America chooses its president. your primer on the race to the White House. Everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.